everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk. My name is John, and today here on the channel, we're going to be talking about 1998's A Simple Plan and its brand new Arrow Video 4K Blu-ray that just came out. But as always, before we get into that 4K Blu-ray review, I always like to give a quick film review, so today is no different. So if you don't want to know anything about the film A Simple Plan, please skip ahead to that 4K Blu-ray review right now. So back in 1998, Sam Raimi directed A Simple Plan. The screenplay was done by Scott B. Smith, the same guy who wrote the 1993 novel of the same name. So, this was pretty much his baby. The film wasn't originally supposed to be directed by Sam Raimi, actually. He was a replacement director. The film was originally supposed to be directed by John Boorman. Actually, it was so far into production that he was actually already casting people who ended up in the film. I don't know if he casted Bill Paxton or not, or Billy Bob Thornton or Gary Cole, but I know he did cast the one character, Lou's wife, so it's pretty funny. She actually, in an interview that's on the Arrow Video 4K Blu-ray, was saying that she was cast by John Boorman. And when she showed up on set, she saw Sam Raimi, which was a great thing because people do love working with Sam Raimi. And it's funny, when you watch this movie, this doesn't really feel like your stereotypical Sam Raimi film. So it does feel like a director who was hired after the fact, who wanted to do justice to this film. And what is this film about? Well, Billy Bob Thornton and Bill Paxton, they're brothers. Bill Paxton's the much more stuck-up brother. One thing that they're always bringing up to him is that, he became an accountant. He put himself through college, even though his parents were the ones who put himself through college. That is a pretty big plot point in this movie. Billy Bob Thornton, no, he's not really the most well-off guy. He just lives in an apartment with his dog. He likes to get drunk with his buddy Lou, who's played by Brent Briscoe in this movie. And the three of them, it's their movie, because right at the beginning of the film, Bill Paxton took off of work. Him and his brother Jacob, played by Billy Bob Thornton, are going to go to the cemetery. Their parents have since passed away. Jacob, on his way there, decides to pick up Lou, who you could tell Bill Paxton doesn't like Lou. But unfortunately, hey, it's his brother Jacob's friend, so all right, he'll come along. The three of them go there. And then on their way back, Jacob's dog runs in the woods. They chase after it, and they discover a crashed plane. They look inside, and they find $4.4 million. And they also find the pilot, who's since died and being chewed on by birds. The birds are a big part of the beginning of this movie as they're walking through the snow. Beautiful snow. The movie takes place in Minnesota. I love films that are set in the snow. This one, the movie's cinematography is just absolutely beautiful. It's kind of speaking to me. I do love movies like this. I just enjoy the beautiful weather. And if you can capture that, and the only way you can really capture that is actually filming on location. They filmed in Minnesota and in Wisconsin. And it really shows. It really kind of makes this movie feel very unique, even though it doesn't really feel like your typical Sam Raimi movie. So they discover this $4.4 million, and this is really what the movie is all about. Bill Paxton, like I said, he's much more stuck up than Billy Bob Thornton, definitely much more stuck up than Lou. They immediately want to take the money, but Bill Paxton's like, no, guys, listen, we can't do this. It's in the cops' hands now. We got to call the police. And they're like, well, no, wait a minute. We don't know what this money is, and this plane's crashed. No one's looking for it now. It's probably drug money. So, hey, why don't we take the money, hold on to it for a little while, and if no one comes looking for it, we'll split it three ways. A real simple plan. Well, of course, what happens? Well, greed gets in the way. This movie's biggest illustration is what greed does to human beings, what money can do to human beings. And I really love that, because what would you do if you were in the same position and you discovered all of this money? I've never been faced with that dilemma. I've never really had much money, so I would probably be like Bill Paxton initially, where he doesn't want to really tell anybody about this, but he also doesn't want to take the money. It really is his wife, played by Bridget Fonda, who really pushes him along to finally, like, hey, this money is important to us. And they really lay it out for you. Like, they have good lives, but they feel like, especially Bridget Fonda lays it out for Bill Paxton, like, I'm going to get bored. And, just having this money in front of her is enough for her to rethink, yeah, I was happy, but I could be happier. And now that it's facing me, I want to be happier. So I'm willing to do anything to hold on to this money. And that really starts to push Bill Paxton along to the point where these people, they get really out of hand. Things get out of hand really fast. And the way it builds up to the conclusion of this movie is very, very surprising. I really think it plays with your expectations. And the way they choose to end this movie, it will absolutely break your heart, and it'll leave you asking a lot of questions. One of those questions is, was it worth it? And I really think you have to answer that question for yourself when you guys check out the movie. I'm trying not to spoil this that much compared to what I usually do, just because this wasn't a very big box office performing movie. It actually underwhelmed at the box office, and that kind of does make sense. This does kind of feel like a more smaller film, especially from Sam Raimi. He was kind of in this window where, he did The Quick and the Dead, he did this movie, he would end up doing The Gift before he finally jumps back into franchise filmmaking with the Spider-Man trilogy. But this one's kind of down there with The Gift for a lot of people. And for me, I really think this is a very underrated film, that one you should check out. It's actually one of my favorite Sam Raimi films. And a lot of that is because of the great Danny Elfman score, the great performances by the main leads in this movie, mainly Bill Paxton and Billy Bob Thornton. Billy Bob Thornton is always playing with your expectations. The guy is a phenomenal actor. He doesn't get brought up enough. Same thing with Bill Paxton. I don't think it was until Bill Paxton passed away that people started to realize this is one of our great actors. We just didn't appreciate him enough when he was alive. And this is a big 3-year run for him. In 96, he has Twisters. In 97, he has Titanic. And then in 1998, he has A Simple Plan. Maybe not as memorable as those other two roles, but if you watch this movie, again, you'll see a great performance by him. And this movie actually did receive some Oscar nominations, one for Billy Bob Thornton, and the screenplay received an Academy Award nomination, which does make a lot of sense. The screenplay is doing a lot of heavy lifting as well. This is one of those movies that just checks a lot of boxes. It's got beautiful cinematography, a great score, a very subtle score. That's one thing also, is that Danny Elfman, who is really known for these big scores, it's a very subtle score in this movie. It matches the movie perfectly because the movie itself is very subtle, so when those big moments happen, they really do shock you. And there's really one scene in this movie that really tells you, yeah, that's a Sam Raimi movie. And if you've seen the film, you know exactly what scene I'm talking about. But again, trying to stay away from as many spoilers as I can, because this is a movie I do want people to check out. And if you do want to check it out, maybe this 4K Blu-ray is one you'll want to see. So let's talk about that right now.
It's the American dream, and a gym bag, he just wants to walk away from it.
You work for the American dream, you don't steal it.
And here it is, the Arow video, A Simple Plan 4K Blu-ray. This one just came out. Now, I don't believe there was actually a Blu-ray release for this in the past. I think the last time this came to physical media was on DVD, at least in the United States. I could be wrong on that. I would appreciate it if someone would let me know, because I was trying to figure it out, trying to compare this to a previous Blu-ray, and I really couldn't. You can just buy this on Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray is not packed in here. So if you buy the 4K Blu-ray, you're just going to be getting the 4K Blu-ray. You can buy the same scan with everything on Blu-ray, but this right here is just the 4K Blu-ray. And I really like the slipcover, the snow, beautiful shots in the beginning of the movie, especially with the birds. I don't know what those are. Are those crows? Are those ravens? Not a bird guy. Not entirely too sure of that. Then you get this nice artwork here, the original movie poster. I really do think that these worked well together, so when you pull this off, you get something really different underneath. You can flip this around. It does have alternate artwork, so you can have it look like this if you're a bigger fan of this over this. I'm going to keep it as it is. And when you come inside, there's some reading material, a nice little pamphlet, good paper stock, individual disc design, again, matching the slipcover in white. And then that disc, that's it. Everything is going to be on that one disc. You're going to get some brand new interviews as far as the extras go, which I really appreciate it when they give us brand new extras. And now those interviews aren't with like some main actors in the movie. Don't expect new interviews. Obviously, Bill Paxton since passed away, but you're not going to get anything from Billy Bob Thornton. You're not going to be getting anything from Sam Raimi. You're not going to be getting anything from Bridget Fonda. No, you're just going to be getting interviews with some of the smaller actors, like Lou's wife does an interview. It's a good interview with the cop as well, the main lead cop in this movie, an interview with the cinematographer. But there is also all the old archival interviews from when they were making the film, which are pretty fun, just getting into their mindset of the characters at the time while they're making the movie. I always find it so fascinating to watch Billy Bob Thornton talk, because he's a very, very smart man, and I feel like he always kind of plays these like slower characters, especially early in his career, where people kind of didn't respect him, and it's like the guy is kind of a genius. You hear him talking about screenplays and how good this screenplay is. He's like, most screenplays, I'll read the first 10 pages, then read the last 2 or 3. It's just because, he reads so many, you can tell if they're going to be good or bad or not. And he said this was one that he couldn't put down, and it was nominated for an Academy Award. So even with the new extras and the archival extras, there isn't like a making of documentary, which are like my favorite things. There is an audio commentary track. So I do really appreciate Arow giving us these brand new extras, also giving us the older extras that were out there. So even though it's not my favorite extras, I really do appreciate what they did. And especially for a movie like this that isn't that well known, isn't that beloved, I can understand why this wouldn't get the full-blown treatment, but still, they did give us plenty of new stuff where it's really hard to complain. Now, the audio is a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. There's also a 2.0 on that. Those are the only two audio tracks that are on here. I checked out that 5.1. It's pretty solid. You know, nothing, again, that just kind of blew me away, but this is the kind of movie that, again, is a very subtle movie. Like, there are certain action scenes in the movie that are very, you know, low-key. Nothing that gets too out of hand. The score might pick up a little bit, so it's not something that's very flashy in general. So you're just hoping that everything comes in crisp and clear, and it absolutely does. There are moments where you might hear some things in the distance, like a bird's flapping, where I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty damn impressive. But overall, I thought it was just a very solid DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. And what about those visuals? Well, you are going to be getting HDR10 and Dolby Vision, and to say this is the best the movie's ever looked would be an understatement. This movie absolutely looks fantastic on 4K Blu-ray. This is a movie I already thought was going to look good just because of the setting in Minnesota with the snow falling down. There's numerous shots in the movie where snow is falling. It looks so beautiful already. So now when we get it in 4K Blu-ray, where we're brightening things up, everything looks more realistic, more natural. You can pick out the tiny little details because also the production design is very well done. The clothes that they choose for these actors to wear, now you're noticing all the little materials on it. Just again, it feels like a very small movie, a very intimate movie, and just having those closer shots and now having it in beautiful 4K Blu-ray, it looks just absolutely stunning. Better than I expected this movie to look, even though my expectations were pretty high. The 4K Blu-ray in the visual department actually exceeded that. And if you're somebody who does really enjoy this movie, you're definitely going to want to check this out on 4K Blu-ray. And if you're just somebody who's never seen the movie, I could definitely still recommend the 4K Blu-ray because it really did impress me in the visual department. You know, the audio might not have been something that knocked my socks off, and then the same thing with the extras, but still, this is a very underappreciated, very underseen Sam Raimi movie that maybe now this 4K Blu-ray from Arow Video will bring new fans to the film because it really is such a well-made movie. It'll leave you at the edge of your seat. It's one that you probably won't watch every single year, but maybe every 3 years you throw this one on. You know, same time you're probably throwing on The Gift, and you're like, oh wow, this movie is really good. Why haven't I checked this one out in a while? And that's exactly what happened to me when I put this one on. I felt like I forgot how good this film is, and you know, obviously this 4K Blu-ray has breathed new life into the film for me as well, that maybe in a year or two I will check this one out, and I'll be very happy that I have this 4K Blu-ray from Arow Video. And what would I give this film on a score of 1 to 10? I'd give the Arow Video 4K Blu-ray for a simple plan a pretty damn solid 8.5 out of 10. But guys, it's also Friday, and that means it's time for our digital code giveaway. In every single video that we do on Friday, I ask you guys 2 digital code giveaway questions. All you gotta do is answer one of those in the comment section below. As long as you do that, you come back to Tuesday's video, I put your name on a magic wheel, I spin that bad boy 2 times, the 2 names it lands on, and they have their choice of the digital codes that you've seen on your screen before you today. And hey, we just got done talking about Sam Raimi. I want to know from you guys, what is your favorite Sam Raimi film? And this movie also features Bill Paxton and Billy Bob Thornton, who I think are 2 very underappreciated actors. And I want to hear from you guys. What's an underappreciated actor or actress that you think doesn't get enough love? Leave those answers in the comment section below. And then while you guys are down there, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on, share this video if you could. And guys, we also have channel memberships, so if you want to become a friend of the channel, a producer for the channel like John Doe Juggalo and Jason Martin, or even a channel director like Frank from Frank's Media and Reviews and Mr. Smelly Potato, you can look for all of that information in the description below. But if you got no money to throw away, guys, don't worry about it at all. We just hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, get out in those streets, tell your friends about us, and then we'll be seeing you around.